Please remain standing, face the flag, and let's join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Good morning. We welcome you, veterans, families, friends, faculty, staff, and students to St. Croix Lutheran's annual Veterans Day Recognition Program. Through this observance, the St. Croix family wishes to show our sincere appreciation to those who serve or who have served in our country. We thank God for these men and women who sacrificed for the country and sacrificed for us. We know that their sacrificial service was also shared by their families, so we thank those family members, especially parents, spouses, and children, for their support and their sacrifice. It is also our hope that your sacrificial service will be an example to our students. May it motivate them to serve others, their country, and better appreciate the freedoms now enjoyed. Veterans Day pays tribute to all American veterans, living or deceased, but especially gives thanks to living veterans who served their country honorably during war or peacetime. As of 2018, it was estimated that there were nearly 18 million living veterans. These men and women come from all walks of life. They are parents, children, grandparents, friends, neighbors, and co-workers, and are an important part of all of our communities. These veterans serve their country to defend it from adversaries, protect its people, and ensure the freedoms that are found in the Bill of Rights. Those freedoms, especially the freedom of religion, are blessings that we enjoy here each and every day. So today and each day, we say thank you. We thank God for you and His blessings on America. We will continue by standing with respect to our country, facing our flag, and joining in the singing of the national anthem. Please rise.
Our first speaker, Sam Peters, has served on the student council for 2 years, and this year is the student body president. As a student, Sam has challenged himself with advanced placement in dual credit college courses. Sam participates in cross country and track and is part of our select singing group, the Croix Lutheran. He's also in jazz band. To represent the student body to our veterans, would you please welcome Sam Peters.
Typically, at St. Croix Veterans Day program, the student speaker talks about a member of their family who has served in the military. When I was asked to give a speech, I already knew who I wanted to talk about. This is Victor Glee Peters, but I know him as Grandpa Glee. Within a year of graduating from college and marrying my grandma, Victor was drafted for service in the U.S. Army. He went to basic training at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri. My grandma also went down there with him. She was a nurse and was able to find a job at the neighboring town. So while my grandpa was in boot camp, his wife was right down there with him. After training was over, he flew out west and my grandma headed back to their home in Pepin, Wisconsin. It was right before Christmas, 1954. My grandma remembers that because she had to drive all the way from Missouri to Wisconsin by herself in a December snowstorm. Victor was shipped out from Washington State to Busan, Korea. Being a farm boy from rural Wisconsin, Victor wasn't exactly used to the seas and got really seasick on his way across the ocean. Once he got there, his officer lined up everyone in his company and asked who could type. Now, Victor, being a recent college grad and knowing how to type, raised his hand. And he was the only person who raised his hand. So his officer pointed to him and said, "All right, you'll be our company clerk." And that was his job for his remaining time in Korea. Now, Victor was really into photography, which I'm very thankful for because in preparing for this speech, I've had the opportunity to get a better taste of what he really went through. Here's a picture of him getting mail with his buddies there. Here's a picture of the company church. Now you can't see it there, but the sign gives listings for both Protestant and Catholic services each Sunday. And they also got some entertainment over there as well. I'm told that the lady in the red dress is Debbie Reynolds, but I'm not going to pretend that I know who that is, so. But hey, it's Debbie Reynolds. Some of my favorite pictures I found, though, are these. I was told that this little puppy wandered into camp one day and the company adopted it. Now, I figure my grandpa really must have liked this dog because I found 14 pictures of it. Now, all these pictures tell a story. Words can't really express how proud I am of my grandfather and his service for our country, but I was never given the chance to thank him for it. You see, my grandpa was taken home at the age of 58 due to cancer while my dad was still in his 20s. His memory still lives on, though, through me, through you, and through this country. And these pictures are a reminder of that. That's what today is all about, remembering you who have served our country and made sacrifices to defend our freedoms. So now, I'd like to say to all of you what I never had the chance to say to my grandpa. Thank you for serving our country. Thank you for all the sacrifices you've made to keep us safe and to keep us free. Your service is greatly appreciated by all of us. Thank you.
At this time, our choir and band will play the Salute to America's Finest, which is a favorite of our Veterans Day celebrations. Each of the marches for the branches of the military will be played. Veterans, please stand when the march for your branch of service is played. guest speaker for today has been serving his country in the United States Army for 28 years. This native of North Dakota has served as infantry, air defense artillery, engineer, medical, ROTC, and Joint Force headquarters. He has served our country with courage and honor on operational missions in Somalia, Afghanistan, and Kuwait. His service to others extends to his civilian life as well. I recently witnessed him changing a student's tire here in the parking lot here at St. Croix. His commitment to continued education in his own life is evident in that he has obtained a bachelor's degree and 2 master's degrees. He and his wife Shanna reside in Burnsville, Minnesota with their 4 children, 3 of which attend Good Shepherd Lutheran, and their son Sam attends here at St. Croix. Please join me in giving Colonel Simon Schaefer a warm St. Croix welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, students, veterans, thank you for joining us as we honor the brave men and women from all walks of life that have stepped forward to defend our nation. Sam, thank you for the words and sharing a little bit about your grandpa today. Where are you at? We're in the band now. Very good. It's encouraging and also a good lesson for all of us at how much our service affects families and those that we don't even know, future generations as well, which I'll actually talk about in a little bit. I've been to Busan. I took a 14-hour plane ride from Fort Lewis, Washington back in 1993. I was a sergeant and parachuted after flying in the plane for 14 hours, rigged parachutes in the plane, parachuted into Busan, and did a month training mission with the Rangers that I was assigned to at the time. So thank you for your grandpa's service, and it's encouraging to see how it's affected you in a positive way. Mr. Wendland and the Mission Advancement Planning Team, thank you for inviting me to speak today and for your commitment to organizing this event for the school and the community as well. For President Russ and Principal Gibson, thank you for your leadership in ensuring that Veterans Day is deliberately recognized at St. Croix Lutheran Academy and that it includes all of the students. This doesn't happen at every school around our metro, so thank you very much for that. Veterans Day is a celebration for all of those who have served and continue to serve our nation with honor and distinction. Each year we set aside this day all across the country to celebrate and pay tribute to Americans' veterans for their devotion, patriotism, selfless service, and sacrifice on behalf of us all. Their loyalty to our country and the great courage have made us what we are today and what we have been for more than 2 centuries, the land of the free and the home of the brave. So we say thank you not only to them, but also to their families, for they have sacrificed for our nation as well. For nearly a century, we have celebrated this day on the anniversary of Armistice Day, which ended World War I, on the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month. The battlefields of Europe fell silent after 4 years of fierce and intense fighting. So regardless of the military branch, the veterans have served, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. This day belongs to them. From the Minutemen who won our independence to today's warriors that are deterring aggression all around the world, the generations of patriots who have dedicated themselves to the defense of our country make us stronger and more resilient as a nation. Each veteran is a part of that proud legacy. They've served with honor and dignity and patriotism. They've served in many different places and in different ways, but they've served. They've not only fought wars, they've preserved the peace, whether in faraway lands such as Korea or here at home. They have lived uncommon lives under a common banner, a love for country and service to our nation. Therefore, it is fitting that we pause as a nation each year, to recognize their service and sacrifices. Being a veteran myself, I also greatly appreciate the service members and veterans that have come before me. Many are sitting here with us today. Their dedication has laid a foundation of service for our country that the current generation of servicemen and women, myself included, and others with us today that are active military, we strive to uphold every day that we put this uniform on. So once again, if you would please help me to thank our veterans for their service and for shaping the future that the current veterans and service members strive to uphold. As a nation, we are blessed with the freedoms our veterans have secured and preserved. They fought to defend our country and our way of life, not only for us, but for future generations of Americans. Our first commanding general, George Washington, said to be prepared for war is one of the most effectual means of preserving the peace. And therefore, a mission-ready American military is the best chance to sustain that peace. Today and every day, we remember our veterans and remain constantly vigilant that the freedoms they secured and the security they defended are not threatened or taken for granted. Today, I'd also like to direct a few comments more specifically at the students today. And I think your chapel this morning about God's got this is a perfect tie-in, and thank you for that message. It goes great with what the message that I have for the students here. Thank you for supporting this wonderful Veterans Day event through your talents of music and song. It really is encouraging to myself and the veterans present here today to see your commitment and your involvement in this important day. So while we have highlighted the importance of recognizing our veterans, it is also important that I challenge the students today to consider what your responsibilities are on this day. As the theme of the school year states, we go forward in faith to serve a higher calling, to be part of something that is bigger than ourselves. When I joined the military 28 years ago, I did not know how long I would serve or where it would take me. Where it has taken me is into Somalia as a Ranger team leader, to Afghanistan as an infantry company commander, and to Kuwait recently, last year, as the chief of staff for a 9,000-member task force deterring aggression throughout the Middle East. And then also into 21 additional countries and almost every state in the nation. There's no way I could have anticipated that as a 17-year-old signing up for the U.S. Army, leaving high school. Could I have predicted those missions and operations? No, I could not. But through all those missions, the training, the time away, just like the veterans in front of us, one thing remains certain, and that for me was a call to serve the country and trusting in God to protect me, protect my family, and to lead me in those times. So as you sit here today, a student at St. Croix Lutheran Academy, your path and your future is unknown as well. The question of how the remaining years of high school will go, or where you'll go to college, remain unknown. Will you join the military? Will you work? Where will you live? How can you serve? These are all unknowns for the students that sit here today. But you don't stop working and striving toward your goals because the end is unclear. You move forward in faith, just as generations of students and veterans have before you. Assessing how and where you may serve can seem daunting as well, but it doesn't need to be. You have all been blessed with unique gifts, talents, and interests. This is the time to reflect on those qualities and consider how you can put them into service. You have a lot to offer, students. No matter what your age, never limit yourself. Sometimes the hardest part of service is taking the first step and challenging yourself. So this time I'd like to thank the faculty and the staff of St. Croix for what each of you do every single day in being an important member of creating a safe environment where our children can challenge themselves and laying a foundation and a heart for service. So thank you to the staff of this great school. President Calvin Coolidge said long ago, "The nation which forgets its defenders will soon be forgotten." Well, we don't have that problem here. Just by your presence today, facts that you have not forgotten your defenders, so I appreciate that from all of you. As I close, I encourage all of us to reflect on how the actions of veterans have shaped the nation we live in today. So take a moment, thank a veteran, ask them about their service. How we honor and treat the veterans of today is shaping the environment for our veterans of the future. To the students that are here today, prayerfully consider where you can serve and then go forward in faith. Thank you for inviting me here today, and happy Veterans Day to you all.
On Christmas Day, 1896, John Philip Sousa composed our next piece after hearing about the recent death of the manager of his Sousa band. While on an ocean liner returning to America from Europe, the inspiration for the march came as he gazed upon the American flag upon that vessel. In 1987, an act of Congress made Stars and Stripes Forever the official national march of the United States. America the Beautiful was written in 1892. The author, Kathleen Lee Bates, was inspired by Pikes Peak in Colorado to write these words. We too are grateful to our Lord and for our country, for the wonderful and beautiful country he has given us. We will now sing America the Beautiful. recessional. There are many people to thank that puts on a performance like this, and of course, the danger with that, once you start naming some people, you run the risk of people getting left off, but here we're going to give it a try anyway. The Mission Advancement Department for hosting this event, Christina Leverins. The Music Department under the direction of Mr. John Fensky with the band and Mr. Mike Marquardt with the choir, outstanding work. Mr. Mackey, Mr. Tess, Mr. Kaiser, Mr. Wine, our maintenance staff, and the students and staff here at St. Croix Lutheran. Help join me in giving them a big thank you. And of course, the most important thanks is to you, veterans, for all that you have done for our freedom. We wake up every day with the freedom to especially assemble with religion here at St. Croix Lutheran Academy, and that's because of what you did. Veterans Day is always one of my favorite days. I had both my grandparents, one was in the grandfathers, one was in the Navy, one was in the Marines, and a brother who served in the Navy. I thank you very much. And we owe you a huge debt of gratitude.